Hi everyone, welcome to my video. I'm Jessica Shanturi. In this video, I will explain about two types of machine learning, that is supervised learning and unsupervised learning. Okay. Within artificial intelligence and machine learning, there are two basic approaches, supervised learning and unsupervised learning. The main difference is one uses label data to help predict outcomes, while the other does not. However, there are some nouns between the two approaches. The key areas in which one outperforms the other. This post will clarify the differences so you can choose the best approach for your situation. Supervised and unsupervised learning are powerful tools that allow us to make sense of vast amounts of information. Whether you're a data scientist or simply serious about the world around you, understanding this concept is essential for staying ahead in today's fast-paced technological landscape. So let's explain about the first one is supervised learning. Supervised learning is a subset of artificial intelligence and machine learning. It is also known as supervised machine learning and is defined by its ability to train algorithms to categorize data and predict outcomes accurately. Moreover, it teaches computer systems and find hidden insight using the available data. It is a data analysis process that uses modern methods such as decision trees, random forests, and gradient boosting machines. It also prepares algorithms to perform smart and intelligent tests without human intervention. An example of supervised learning includes image classification, speech recognition, and sentiment analysis. In each of these cases, the algorithm is given a set of label data and use this information to learn how to classify new unseen data. By providing the algorithm with feedback on its performance, we can improve its accuracy of every time. Now, about types of supervised learning. There are several types of supervised learning, including classification and regression. Classification is used when the output variable is categorical, such as determining whether an email is spam or not. Regression, on the other hand, is used when the output variable is continuous, such as predicting the price of a house based on its features. The first one is about classification. Classification problem use an algorithm to accurately assign test data into specific categories, such as separating apples from oranges, or in the real world, supervised learning algorithm can be used to classify spam in a separate folder from your inbox. Linear classifiers, super vector machines, decision trees, and random forests are all common types of classification algorithms. Next is regression. Regression is another type of supervised learning method that use an algorithm to understand the relationship between dependent and independent variables. Regression models are helpful for predicting numerical values based on different data points, such as sales, revenue, projections for a given business. Some popular regression algorithms are linear regression, logistic regression, and polynomial regression. Okay, so what is the advantages and disadvantages of supervised learning? Now we talk about advantages. Number one is gathers previous data, which help in learning from past mistakes. The number two is it is a powerful tool of AI that can perform plenty of business functions single-handedly. The third is it is a more trustworthy algorithm. How about disadvantages? Number one is difficult to classify hard data sets. Next is it requires a certain level of expertise to operate. Number three, it is time too intensive. Okay, we already talked about supervised learning. Now we talk about unsupervised learning. So what's unsupervised learning? Unsupervised learning is a type of machine learning where the algorithm is trained on an unlabeled dataset. This means that the input data is not categorized into different classes or categories, and the algorithm must be patterns and relationships on its own. The examples of unsupervised learning include clustering, anomaly detection, and dimensional reduction. In each of these cases, the algorithm is given a set of unlabeled data and must identify is given a set of unlabeled data and must identify patterns and relationships without any prior knowledge of the data. Unsupervised learning is particularly useful to finding hidden structure and relationship in large dataset. Okay, next is type of unsupervised learning. There are several types of unsupervised learning, including clustering and association. Clustering is used to group similar items together, while association is used to find relationships between different items in a dataset. Unsupervised learning is used in a wide variety of real-world applications, from recommendation systems to anomaly detection. By identifying patterns and relationships in large datasets, we can gain insight into complex systems and make better decisions based on the data. The first one is about clustering. So what is clustering? Clustering is a data mining technique for grouping unlabeled data based on their similarities or differences. For example, k-means clustering algorithm assigns similar data points into groups, where the key value represent the size of the grouping and granularity. This technique is helpful for market segmentation, image compression, and etc. How about association? Association is another type of unsupervised learning method that uses different rules to find relationships between variables in a given dataset. These methods are frequently used for market basket analysis and recommendation engines along the lines of customers who bought this item also bought recommendation. So what is the advantages and disadvantages of unsupervised learning? The first one is about advantages. Number one, unsupervised learning is used for more complex tests as compared to supervised learning because in unsupervised learning, we don't have labeled input data. Number two, unsupervised learning is preferable as it's easy to get unlabeled data in comparison to labeled data. How about disadvantages? Number one is unsupervised learning is intrinsically more difficult than supervised learning as it does not have corresponding output. The next one is the result of the unsupervised learning algorithm might be less accurate as input data is not labeled and algorithm do not know the exact output in advance. So let's talk about the main difference between supervised and unsupervised learning about labeled data. The main distinction between the two approaches is the use of labeled datasets. To put it simply, supervised learning uses labeled input and output data, while unsupervised learning algorithm does not. In supervised learning, the algorithm learns from the training dataset by iteratively making predictions on the data and adjusting for the correct answer. While supervised learning models tend to be more accurate than unsupervised learning models, they require upfront human intervention to label the data appropriately. For example, a supervised learning model can predict how long your commute will be based on the time of day, weather, conditions, and so on. But first, you will have to train it to know that rainy weather extends the driving time. Unsupervised learning models, in contrast, work on their own to discover the inherent structure of unlabeled data. Note that they still require some human intervention for validating output variables. For example, an unsupervised learning model can identify that online shoppers often purchase groups of products at the same time. However, a data analyst would need to validate that it makes sense for a recommendation engine to group baby clothes with an order of diapers, apple cells, and CP cups. So, another differences between supervised and unsupervised learning. Number one is about goals. In supervised learning, the goal is to predict outcomes of new data. You know upfront the type of result to expect. With unsupervised learning algorithm, the goal is to get insight from large volume of new data. The machine learning itself determines what is different of interesting from the dataset. Number two is applications. Supervised learning are ideal for spam detection, sentiment analysis, weather forecasting, and pricing prediction. Among other things, in contrast, unsupervised learning is a great fit for anomaly detection, recommendation engines, customer personas, and medical imaging. The third is complexity. Supervised learning is a simple method for machine learning, typically calculated through the use of programs like R or Python. In unsupervised learning, you need powerful tools for working like large amounts on classified data. Unsupervised learning models are computationally complex because they need a large training set to produce intended outcomes. Okay, the last one is drawbacks. Supervised learning models can be time-consuming to train, and the levels for input and output variables require expertise. Meanwhile, unsupervised learning methods can have a widely inaccurate result unless you have human intervention to validate the output variables. In conclusion, supervised and unsupervised learning are powerful tools that allow me to make sense of vast amounts of information. By providing algorithms with labeled or unlabeled data, we can teach them to recognize patterns and relationships and make prediction with a high degree of accuracy. Whether you are a data scientist or simply curious about the world around you, understanding this concept is essential for staying ahead in today's fast-paced technological landscape. Thank you for joining my video today, and bye.